Good morning. Today we'll be setting up the car with batteries, and to do that I need to get rid of these connectors that I had on the Revo, which are QS8s, and I'll be replacing them with 8mm castles. Now I'm kind of low on supplies, so I'll be cutting these off and using these three and making a booster cable so that the batteries connect to themselves on top of that. So what I normally do is I turn on the iron and I let it sit for about nearly 20 minutes so that it's super duper hot. Now this is a Weller 80-watt iron and it has a lot of mass, and that's pretty good for 8-gauge soldering. So I wanted to show tinning, how to tin your wires. Now I got this cable that's going to go across the car, and I put some flux solder cleaner on both sides, and I spun it, and I spin it righty-tighty. So you spin it, and you put it on your jig, and let's see if the soldering gun. So the soldering gun already has some corrosion on it. You use a brass brush on that to tin it again. Just cleans it off and makes it nice and even. And then what you want to do is you put your soldering gun under the wire like that. And you do that. Do not inhale. And you do it on the top of it. Normally I run a fan, but I wanted to show this. So there we go, we got that tinned. And then we do it on the other side. Now the longer you tin this, the harder the wire is going to get, so it is kind of time sensitive. So we're done with that. Turn our fan on. And then what you want to do is that you grab your bullet. This is already tinned on the inside, but there's going to be too much solder in it. So you angle it down, and you heat up the bullet, and put the gun in the bullet, and that'll flow it out. So now that that's flowed out, we're going to put this in, and you put the hole up top. And then hopefully I can get this all in one go. See, it's all corroded again. So it's a very repetitive process. So you tin it again. And you tin the bullet so the bullet's hot. And then you slowly push solder through. Give it about 2-3 seconds. And then kiss the bottom. And then let go. And that is a perfect soldering joint. Now we're going to wait for that to cool down a bit. There's still a bit of gap, so I could fill that up, but at this point the wire's already getting tinned on the inside, so it's better to just leave it as is. So I wanted to add a quick note. When soldering the male 8mm bullets, make sure that it's tilted upwards, because there tends to be solder that goes back onto the pins, and then you'll have a hard time actually pushing the bullet back into the cup. So just a little tip, have it so that it's angled a little bit upwards. Alright, so I am out of heat shrink, unfortunately, so I'll have to finish up the car at a later date, but what I wanted to use in this scenario is 1/2 inch 3-to-1 ratio heat shrink. And this seems to do a pretty good job. And what you want to do, since it shrinks longitudinally as well, you want to have it so that it has about a bit of lip, like 2-3 millimeters. And the same goes for the male end, so right around 2-3 millimeters. And I'll show you what the finished product looks like. It's already plugged in. And there you go. It's kind of hot. Do not touch. And while it's hot, if you have this issue where it's not all the way in, it's still molten plastic, so you can slowly push it up and that will dry perfectly. Thanks for watching.